Welcome to part three. We're joined by Jerry. Women love him, men want to be him. And as you can see, Jerry has still got his mullet and his muzzy. You've still got the old Terry McDermott going on under that nose of yours, Jerry. How are you doing? Remember that muzzy he used to have, Terry Mack?
I need to just look for him here. Hang on.
Terry McDermott. Get him up on your screen. Terry Mack. He had a right muzzy, didn't he?
Oh, that's awesome. That's a cracker.
He had a good old Keegan perm going on there, didn't he, Jerry?
Did you like him then because you're a Liverpool supporter?
I was a big Terry Mack fan. Terry Mack in middle with Graham Souness. And Jimmy Cases, just in case he needed to bring somebody on to chop a few people down. They had a great team, didn't they, back in the day, them? Liverpool. Emlyn at back with Phil Tomo. Phil Neal on right. Alan Kennedy on left. Clemo Grobbelaar in net. Rushy and Dalglish up front. Hey?
Good team.
Good team. They're all right team, them back in the day, weren't they? Callaghan on left. Oh, Keegan even played for him in the 70s, didn't he? Fantastic. Dylan White. We've given him some stick over years. He's 2 years out of a British ring in November. Is he serving a silent ban, yes or no?
Yes.
He is, isn't he, Jerry? We know, don't we?
Yeah. I think that's why. Didn't he have that show over in Ireland? And would that be a way of him kind of like looked like he wasn't on a ban because he's fighting over here?
Yeah, well, that don't count, does it? That, do you know what I mean? Because it's in Ireland, so he still can
fight in
Ireland. They just can't fight in UK when they get banned. This is how they're working it now. Why ain't it banned across the whole lot? Why is it just the UK that are, you can't fight in UK, but you can fight anywhere else?
But that is a joke, like, because he's done that to make it look like he's not on a ban. Also, by not talking about it.
Could you imagine, Jerry, if in UK, if you did a burglary, right, and you did one out at UK to another country, so that's all right, get gone. You're not allowed back in UK until you do your time. So people would just leave and go to Ireland, wouldn't you, if you're an house burglar, wouldn't you, and go over there?
Yeah. It's not
how to play the music over here. Do you think, Jerry, that we'll ever get to the bottom of this Conor Benn saga with this doping, or do you think they're just not going to give us an answer? What do you think? It's gone on long enough now, isn't it?
It'll either nothing will be said, and they'll continue once his
Do you think the board have gone about it in the right way?
Well, they kind of stood up against them, and for lack of a better description, showed a bit of resistance to him. So, yeah, it's not often that we have the support for the board and what they do because they make stupid decisions all the time. But yeah, maybe they should have even come down harder on Ben, just to make an example of him. But I think it showed a bit of character for them to put the foot down against Ben because somebody needs to be made an example of. He just made the situation 10 times worse for himself, though.
Yeah. Yeah, I see where you're coming from. It's not good. It's not good. This Mike Tyson fight with Jake Paul, is it off?
I don't know, mate. It's a load of shit. I'll just check.
Do you even care, Jerry?
No, I don't care. You don't care. Was it not already postponed? And then I don't know. I actually thought that it was meant to happen this weekend or something. Hang on a look. It's nonsense. So, like, it's nonsense, and I know it's nonsense.
Yeah.
Who wants to watch that?
I don't want to watch a 58-year-old man approaching 59 fighting some kid in his mid to late 20s. Not for me, that.
I'm going soft on him as well, because he's not going to really be, punching him as hard as he can, like, no way.
Who have you got, Arislander Lara or Danny Garcia at weekend? fighting for WBA middleweight title. I mean, Marvin Hagler will be turning in his grave, won't he?
I don't know whether I favour Garcia for that one or not.
No.
Yeah, I mean, he's kind of a bit long in the tooth now.
Yeah.
Could be his last hurrah basically with this one. Like, so I don't know. I haven't really given that one much thought. Which way do you see it going?
I see Danny Garcia and Lara. I don't know, man. Could be a draw, that, couldn't it? I don't know. I see Canelo getting nod over there, but I'm going to go in my bet. Belenga by KO, because I always like to be different, Jerry. I think Canelo's taking me, to be honest.
Nobody's given Berlanga a shot. Maybe that's a little bit harsh. Like, I think a lot of people think he's kind of been Hill's hype job.
Yeah.
He's been this big killer puncher guy, but I don't know. He's got a shot. I think you're making a good point. Canelo is definitely at the end of his career. Like, he's obviously thought strategically, if he fights Berlanga, he must be in with a decent enough shot of winning because, he's ducked Benavidez. So, maybe he overlooks him, which gives Berlanga an extra little bit of an edge.
Yeah.
So, it's a good point. Like, everybody expects Canelo's going to win, like, but maybe Berlanga has something else up his sleeve. Maybe he knows what we're sort of suggesting, that end of the road for Canelo.
You reckon?
Yeah, I mean, he's kind of choosing, almost borderline, not exhibitions, but he's not going for the top guys, like, let's face it. So he's kind of like twilight mode of his career, milking a bit more money out of it before he sails off into the sunset. That's the way I see it. Not facing any serious dudes.
Yeah. It's Canelo's been, when they were fighting guys at 155, dragging them down from 160. I didn't like him then. You ginger little, and I don't like him now. So I hope he gets flattened. Every time he fights, I back the other guy to win by KO, but it doesn't seem to happen, does it?
Berlanga can bang a bit, like, so.
Do you remember
We'll
when
see.
Canelo got done for doping, and Eddie Hills came out and he absolutely slaughtered him, didn't he? Do you remember?
Yeah, tasty beef.
Yeah, tasty beef. Yeah. Tasty titty. Well, he absolutely slaughtered him, right? And I was like, oh, God, Eddie going after Canelo. Go on, Eddie. Well done. And he spoke elegantly. And then, now look, it's a bit like Eddie and Leonard Ellaby, innit? Did you see him giving each other a reach around today on IFL?
No, I didn't see that, mate. Leonard Ellaby?
Leonard Ellaby looked
Like,
like he looked like a black Father Christmas, and Eddie Hills giving each other, a rub down. Eh?
Ellaby hates Hills.
Best mates today. Best mates.
Unbelievable, mate. Unbelievable. Ellaby really has hated him for years.
Well, have a look on that. Have a look on that IFL, and you'll see him.
That's hilarious, mate.
Absolutely shocking, Jerry. Absolutely shocking. But that's what we're up against now, isn't it? What do you think to Frotcher's beef? Well, I don't know if it's intense beef or just beef stew, or Betty's hot pot off Cora. But what do you think about that beef? That it's looking like Frotch got Joshua to sign with Eddie Hills because McCracken were, going to train and all that, and Frotch has done all legwork. It looks like he's been forgot about, doesn't it? Eddie can't even pick phone up to him. Do you think that's in bad taste?
I don't think it's any skin off Carl Frotch's nose, right? So I'll get that out of the way. Is it in bad taste? I'll go with on that one, because you know, he did wonders for Eddie Hills, like, didn't he? Eddie kind of had Frotch almost matched to lose. Frotch did a number, turned it around, and basically went on a, well, we all know like his career, like, and went on a streak basically and became champion. And it basically made Eddie Hills look good. So, because Eddie had wrote Car Frotch off. So, you think he could put whatever issues he's got to, not that there should be an issue, like, but you think you could put any of that stuff to the side, like, and, give Carla a call sometime. Go out and have a bit of round of golf or something.
Round the goal. I don't know. I mean, this is how I look at it, right? Boxing promoters, they're in an hard situation because when they've got a fighter and you can have them years, and once that fighter's no use to you, do you want to be mates with that fighter, or do you discard them? And usually they're discarded, aren't they? The fighters can feel a little bit vulnerable and think, oh, we were really close at one point for years, and now look, now they're not. So there's two sides to every story, isn't there? But I look at it like this: where was Eddie Hills going, right, when he signed Carl Frotch? He didn't really sign Carl because he didn't sign a contract. He said, "I'll work with you," but where were he going? Carl were in the World Super, sorry, in the Super Six tournament, wasn't he? And he was about to fight Glenn Johnson, so that was Eddie's first bit of graft with a Cobra, the Glenn Johnson fight. Now, then they had 6 more fights after that: Andre Ward, Butte, Yusuf Mack, and the 2 Groves fights after that, weren't there? So, Johnson, Ward, Butte, Yusuf Mack, Kessler, and the 2 Groves fights. So they had 7 fights altogether, Frotch and Eddie Hills. Now, Eddie had done all right out of them fights, wasn't he? But before Carl came along, he had Kelbrook and Bellew, didn't he, and Audley Harrison. And Audley Harrison got pay-per-view torpedoed, didn't he, at UK for 3 years. Carl Frotch brought pay-per-view back with the Kessler fight, but leading up to the Kessler fight, he had Johnson with Eddie, Ward, and Butte. So he deserved, I'm Yusuf Mack, so he deserved that Kessler pay-per-view, didn't he, and the 2 Groves. But he got it at the back end of his career. He laid the path for the rest of them. Bellew, Kelbrook, Joshua, all them guys who got pay-per-view. And I think there's no respect being shown for the Cobra for bringing pay-per-view back. And don't forget, David A had 2 pay-per-views with Bellew as well. They wouldn't have got them if it wasn't for Carl Frotch. Frotch brought it back because Sky washed their hands of it, didn't they?
Yeah.
Just leaves a bad taste in my mouth for him, that's all. But I don't think he's bothered now because he's smashing granny out of it with his channel, isn't he? And they're all scared to death of him, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean,
who's going to put it on him? 13.5 stone, 6'1", former champ, still in fantastic shape. Who's going to get stuck into the Cobra? They'd have to be somebody really tough, wouldn't they, to get stuck into him?
That's, I mean, the guy, he's done great for himself. He's now got a successful YouTube channel. He's done well business wise. He's got his faculties, and I mean, let's be honest with you, he took a lot of punishment. He got punched in the head quite a lot. And he's got his faculties. He's doing all right. He's not bothered. Like, Carl Frotch is probably somebody who later on is going to get more respect, maybe, like the likes of yourself talking about it more frequently is kind of starting that momentum. And gradually people will start to like respect what he did. I respect what he did now more than at the time. I just watched, I remember like the very first fight I think I seen, when he won the British belt, and I just kind of wasn't really sure. Everybody was high on Calzaghe, and he kind of came up beneath that sort of hype, and then didn't really get his kind of his hype until more or less when sort of Calzaghe was sort of winding down. Like, so, he maybe was underappreciated, and as time goes on, he'll be more appreciated. A bit like Larry Holmes, I think, because everybody thinks Larry Holmes is a bit of a legend now, but back in the day, people didn't really. You always hear people talking about he was underappreciated. So
Didn't give Larry Holmes his credit, did they?
no, not really. Like I think that's kind of why I know I was born in the 80s, like, but obviously didn't get in the box until much later. So I kind of was drawn to Larry Holmes for that sort of underdog, but he was great. You know what I mean? So that sort of drew me to him a bit.
I had this chat with Steve Bunce at Dennis's dad's funeral, and Larry Holmes never got the credit because he came after Ali, didn't he? And I don't think Carl got the credit because he came after Carl Zaggy, didn't he?
Yeah.
You know, and they never really fought when they should have done when Carl were mandatory. And Joe Calzaghe, boxing's a business, I understand that. And I don't give Calzaghe as much stick now as I used to about it. It'd have been an hard night for Calzaghe then. Because
I think so.
were looking for something a bit easier. That's why I fought Jones and Hopkins. They were like old men wanting in the 40s. But Carl were 30. He just turned 31 in 2008. And Calzaghe, they took it to the 270th day, to the last day to pull out. Can you imagine? Talking about it for 9 months, that fight, and then it just not happening. And Carl never got the credit because he came after Calzaghe, you know, like living in his shadows kind of thing. So we had to go out.
Just like Larry Holmes.
Yeah, he had to go out there and have all them hard fights to get the credit. Joe even came out and said, yeah, he's got a lot of better wins than Calzaghe because there weren't them fights out there for Calzaghe. But I don't agree with what Calzaghe said because there were hard fights for Calzaghe, and the Americans called him No Show Joe, didn't they? He never fought the top guys. He could have fought Jermaine Taylor, Calzaghe. Frotz beat Jermaine Taylor, and 6 years later, he was still a world champion after Carl done him, Taylor. So that were a great win. And there's other wins that he had that were great wins. Pascal and that. Abraham, you can go on forever reeling them off. Boutte, 30 and 0, pound for pound, 24 on Bottom Moon. You know where I'm coming from?
Yeah.
I think his CV were fantastic. And I said to him, you'll get the credit 10 years later. And he is getting the credit now, isn't he? As we look back. Yeah. Because nobody's doing it like he did it. That's how I look at it. Look at these now. Who's the super middleweight king now? Nobody even knows, do they? Canelo's got a few belts, but you're not defending him and having roadman killer defenses, is he?
Yeah, it's peaks and troughs with divisions. That was the big division for a long time in the UK, and I think that's taken a back seat now. For lack of a better example, you have to say the heavyweights has kind of become a bit more relevant in the UK. Yeah. Because Fury, Joshua, even if we have with a lot of criticism for those guys, it's kind of put that division back on the map again because nobody was really buying anything that Audley Harrison was going to supposedly do, and the Klitschko's had it wrapped up so. People in UK weren't really talking about it, but super middleweight was still during Carl and Joe's time a big division to be interested in because then it sort of followed on after the hype around Ben and Collins and Eubank. So it's just taking a slump, but it'll come back again. I think. Say again, mate.
You think it will come full circle again? Because the super middleweight division's been going 40 years now.
Yeah, it will, mate. Because there's even a case for saying now there's you hadn't heard anyone talking about light heavyweight in years, and now we're talking about Bivol and Beterbiev, Buatsi. Do you know what I mean? Quite a lot of UK fighters are in light heavy, so that's good. But it's good to talk about other divisions from time to time. I know the super middleweight was a very popular one for people best part of 30 years. But it's just taking a bit of a dip and it'll probably come back again. Just don't know when that's going to be, but somebody will come out and start knocking everybody out and it'll pick up interest in that division again, I think.
Do you know who were the first super middleweight world champion?
I don't know.
Maurice Sutherland, the Scotch guy. He was the
Oh,
first
really?
super middleweight champ 40 years ago.
Morris Sutherland, did you say?
I think it's Maurice Sutherland. Have a check. I might be wrong though, but
Just having a look here, mate.
do you know what I like
Any
about
more
having my
MC
teeth
cracks, mate?
done? Jerry, do you know what I like about having my teeth done the most?
Yeah, eating all them sweets.
Eating all these sweets and no happens to my teeth.
Uh,
you
I'm
don't know,
really jealous.
no happens to them. They just look same day after. Whereas before, I was like looking for holes in my teeth, craters and that, cavities.
You were close, mate. It was
I'm gonna have a licorice and what are they called? Black licorice or something.
liquor and black currant.
That's the one, yeah.
Mate, they're great.
So
I love them ones. You were
yeah,
close. It was Murray Sutherland.
yeah. What he was the first one, wasn't he? Yeah, 1984.
Yeah, that's it, mate.
What
You
month
were
in 84 was it?
yeah, 84, yeah. Doesn't say what month it was. But yeah, that's
Scotsman flying the division. Andy from Aberdeen. Andy not from Aberdeen. Will be loving that.
he's from Perth, mate.
Yeah. Can I just say, Jerry, well done to you for donating to the Macmillan Trust for Andy's charity. Did he tell
No
you where
problem.
he finished in the race?
It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. But go. Where did you finish?
His missus Andy. Andy's missus beat him in that race.
Again, it's all about the taking part, mate.
Yeah, I know. I'm just
And
saying. I'm not having a dig at him.
did
Obviously, he had
well,
to let their last win because he lives weird, doesn't he?
like.
I wouldn't have
Yeah,
held back me. I would have said, "No, you're not bad. I'd have done my best to win that one. I wouldn't have let any bird beat me." But yeah, well done for making a donation, and Gary from Welcome Estates and John.
I'm impressed with his fitness, mate.
Hmm?
That's quite a track that Andy's done. Like I couldn't do that. Like
Hey, listen, let me tell you this, right? He sent me a video over there. So where are you? I mean, it's a beautiful country and it's Scotland, obviously. But
oh, it's beautiful, mate.
he'd
Yeah.
gone to some near where he lives or something, and he'd gone. What do they call it? Cold water swimming or something, where you dive in a river.
Yeah, it's not for me.
It's not for me. I can't even do that ice bucket challenge. Me without wanting to kill people.
No way, mate.
But he's into all that, and he felt great after and that. But you're just freezing your nuts off, wouldn't you? Really?
Yeah. It's but there's been a couple of times where I've been on holiday and went for a swim. Actually, Portugal last year, I went for a swim, and it's the Atlantic. It's fucking freezing, mate.
Yeah.
It's tough. I did go in like, but it's tough.
Right. What do you think about Savannah Marshall with this UFC stuff? What do you think?
Um, right. So, has she had her first UFC fight yet?
Yeah, she's had
She
one.
has, hasn't
Yeah,
she?
she's won it. Yeah.
So, I personally think it was a bit of a loss to the women's division of boxing, but I don't know if I read this right. She's not. She could come back to boxing. Have you heard anything like that?
I
Or is
personally,
she completely done?
I don't think she's going to come back to boxing. No, no, I don't.
Do you think it's left a bit of a bad taste in her mouth? Or do you think she's just
No,
happy
I
with
think
what?
well, she beat Clarissa Shields. She's an amateur. She's a world gold. She went to Olympics twice and obviously didn't medal, but went twice. She's a two-weight world champion at boxing. There's nobody left for Savannah Marshall to fight. She's got a new challenge now. She's training with Andy Aspinall, who's a lovely fella. He's close friends with a very dear friend of mine called Frank Smith from Bury. Oh, you well, Frank. I'll see you in first week in October. Come and see you in Bury. I don't think she would. Savannah strikes me as regimented and single-minded, and I think she's probably done with boxing now. That's my own personal opinion. If not, brilliant. I'll always back her because she's a lovely lass, but I think she's moved on to different things now.
I just think because obviously it's good to have as many names in the women's division as possible. That she's a name that's now gone, so it's a shame in that respect. Well, I mean, if her heart's in doing mixed martial arts, all power to her, mate. Personally, I'm not a fan of that sport, but that's that's nothing to do with it. Like, so if she's going to make a career for herself doing MMA, fair play to her.
What about Jack Cattrall? What's happening with him next? Who's he fighting on Boxer? Have a look if his fight's announced.
Is he not fighting Prograis?
Oh, Ricky, anything that comes out of Sam Jones' mouth now, I don't believe you.
No,
Sam
no,
Jones, they
Sam
keep
Jones.
wheeling Sam Jones out with these PR statements. I mean, I'm expecting something on IFL in a minute now. Tank versus Shaka in talks. You know, now that Leonard and Eddie, two men have come together at this summit meeting and are now friends. They're like at a summit.
I'm pretty sure it's Regis Prograis he's going to be fighting.
Is it on Box Rec? Yes or no?
Yeah, in the Co-op Live Arena in Manchester.
When?
26th of October, mate.
26th of October, Sam Jones. Well, let's see if that happens, Sam Jones. I personally say, no, it don't happen, and you're full of baloney, Sam. But we're going to see.
I seen that earlier, so that's how I knew. That's a good fight. If it happens. If it happens.
Rudenko against Johnny Fisher's a good fight as well, isn't it?
That Rudenko guy's tough, like, so he's a durable opponent, but I'd much rather see, like what I said earlier, Thomas Carty against Johnny Fisher. I think that would be excellent.
You had done that Rudenko, you know. Hughie Fury done him when he was a teenager as a pro.
Oh, did he? Yeah, I knew he fought him, but I didn't win.
I think he was 24-1 when you were done him, something like that. Nobody mentioned it. Now they're all saying, "Oh, Rudenko's an hard fight, this and that." Hughie done him when he was a babby, but nobody wants to talk about it. Why is that? That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, well,
Rudenko were red hot when Hughie done him, and everybody was saying to Mick Hennessy, "Oh, Mick Hennessy's dropped the bollock. Mick, what you doing? Career suicide." They rolled the dice, and Hughie beat him. They schooled him.
Let me see when he fought him.
Now all of a sudden, Rudenko's a roadman killer because he's fighting Johnny Fisher.
Well, I wouldn't say he's. I mean, he's been in with everyone. Tabiel, Povetkin, Zhang. He's been in with everyone. Like, he's just a tough guy. Like, you know, Fury fought him in 2015.
What's he got, about 6 or 7 losses?
Oh, he's got loads of losses, mate.
Rudenko, how many?
Oh, he's got 7. He's got 7. That's not as bad as I thought.
How old is he?
He's the same age as me. 41.
41.
Yeah.
He's knocking on a bit now, than he?
Yeah. You know, making a last few quid for himself before either something bad happens to him or he decides to call it a day on his own terms.
Dave Allen's putting videos out saying that his contract's now ended with Dennis. Dave, you were telling us that weeks ago. What are you repeating yourself for? Have you got brain damage? Who cares about that? You're saying you're going to finish your career with Dennis. Well, sign a new deal with Dennis then. See, I know how Dennis works, you see. If you won't sign a deal with Dennis, Dennis will be sat at home thinking, he's not signed a deal with me. As far as Dennis is concerned, Dave Allen's not his fighter. But Dave will hang around for crumbs because he's cunning, aren't you, Dave? But nobody's going to say, well, I'll tell you to your face. You're cunning, you, Dave Allen. Cunning like a fox. But you've got to be when you've been treated like a dog by Eddie Hills. But 90% of it's David's fault. If he's not signed a deal with Dennis, Dennis will be like that in Jersey. Can you imagine him laid on settee, big bottle of expensive red wine out in his cellar, big bag of balsamic vinegar kettle crisp. He'll be crunching on them now. He'll be drinking wine. He'll be like, Sarah, that Dave Allen hasn't signed a new deal with me, but he's saying he's going to finish his career with me. Sarah will be like, sat opposite Dennis, bottle of Prosecco. I'm sick of boxing. Don't want to hear it, Dennis. Dennis will be thinking, what is he going to do next with Dave Allen? You know what I mean? Because Dave hasn't signed a deal. Dennis, I've always got you back. Dennis will be like, I know that has, I know that has, that's got something, that's got something. But deep down, Dennis will be thinking, he ain't signed a deal with me. So why should Dennis care? Because if Eddie Hills comes knocking, or Bricktop, to go Saudi, Dennis will just be an after 8 minutes. He'll be an afterthought, won't he?
He's just got to look out for himself, though, Dave Allen. You know, so I understand.
There you go. There you go. So don't come out with your waffle about, yeah, I'll finish my career with Dennis, because that means you don't need a deal and all this. And if Oak comes up, you get in 2 camps. It's like being a grass and a villain. You can't be, but you can't be. You've got to be one or other, aren't you? You can't be in 2 camps, can you?
Pick a side, yeah. Pick a side.
Pick a side. Do you mind coming out with your absolute waffle about I'm dedicated to cause? Sign a deal with Big Ron, then, Dave. Sign a deal with Big Ron when you go for your wages on a Monday and you think you're getting a tenner, and Dennis goes, your show didn't do that good, you're having a $5. Oh, fucking hell, another one here leaving unhappy.
Shite zone? Is that what it's called?
Hey, only people I've seen go in that office and come out and think that. I remember being in there one day. Mick Whale came in with Josh, and they came in for the wage, and Dennis went, show didn't do so good. Mick went, I'm not bothered, we had a deal. As long as that money's in our bank by tonight, we're all right. They were only ones that got what they asked for. Everybody else was like, oh, yeah, all right, Dennis. Leaving and pulling mothballs out of the pockets.
Jesus.
Dennis is like, what are you on about? But you didn't cost you about 10 times to get that deal done. Look, it's boxing, isn't it, mate? Look, it's full of characters, isn't it?
Absolutely.
I used to sit and watch and look at it all and think, wow. But this is how I look at it. All you fighters out there and managers, if you've got a problem when it comes to getting paid off promoters, go to the border control. It's not grassing. Grassing's when you go to police. Go to border control and say, look, we had a deal for this money. We didn't get paid. This is where we're at. That's how you deal with it. But if you're locked in with a deal, I can see Dave Allen's problem. If you're locked in with a deal and you're good at board complaining, we're just going to run your deal down, aren't they? Then and mess you about. So promoters run the sport. So all you fighters out there, don't sign any fucking deals. Be a free agent. And if they don't pay you, jog on, don't you? Make them pay you up front. I mean, for years, people working with Bricktop, they won't work with Bricktop people, would they, unless they had the money in an escrow? Ask for your money in an escrow and don't have a deal. It's not rocket science. You know what I mean? But people get drawn in by all these characters in box. At the end of the day, the promoters are going on to the big, massive houses, flying around the world, driving brand new cars every 3 years. The boxers aren't, are they? I mean, I remember Dennis having a go at me for saying, I thought Tommy Frank got beat. They were hell on when I said that in office one day. Tommy this, Tommy that, Super Tommy. Where's Super Tommy now? Hey? Where's Super Tommy Frank now? Where is he? Has Dennis packed in boxing because Tommy's on scrap heap? Now, where's Super Tommy now? There you go. All right, promoters will move on to the next thing. Where's Jamie McDonnell now? He was blue-eyed boy, wasn't he? British, Commonwealth, European, and a world title with Dennis, 13-0. Left Dennis to go to Eddie Hills. Where's Jamie McDonnell now? Do we see Eddie Hearn coming out on IFL going, I miss Jamie McDonnell. He was my new best friend. No, we don't, do we? Because he's moved on to everybody else, Shaka Stevenson or whatever. They move on to next big fix, don't they? Jamie McDonnell's plastering in Doncaster, plastering for a living with his brother. There you go. You see where I'm coming from? So all you fighters out there, don't sign any deals and get your money in an escrow. If you're any good, the money will come. If you're shite and you don't want to fight anybody, the money won't come. It's not rocket science.
What's up, mate?
I've got a blemish on my face there. Can't have that.
Oh.
I'm pretty ruthless, aren't I, Jeremy? I'm pretty harsh, but ruthless. But I like to think that I talk a lot of sense. But people don't fucking listen. If you're not going
They
to
don't.
listen, tough. You end up like Dave Allen, talking like Scooby-Doo. He ain't got a deal anyway, hanging around like a bad smell. Well, that's what you end up like, all knocked about and that. And he had ability, David Allen, had ability, tough kid, but just would move his head. So it being
Yeah.
big and powerful, if you can't move your head, well, you know, good, are you? That's why he's had 13 different trainers. You know what I mean? If people don't want to listen to the pork, well, go set a YouTube channel up or go and get a job at Polypipe in Doncaster. 12 quid an hour. That's where you'll end up. Shall. All right, Jerry, I'm off. Hey, I went to see Beetlejuice the other night, you know, Beetlejuice 2.
Any good?
I went and had a drink in that Longwood in Tamworth, game of pool, and I went into Tamworth into Sound Centre to watch Beetlejuice 2. Load of shit. Load of crap.
Did you like the first one?
I watched the first one night before, yeah, and I thought that was a load of shit as well. But I went to that second one, I thought I'll go. And somebody talked me into it, but a load of rubbish, mate. A load of rubbish. I'll never go again to see Beetlejuice 3.
I like Michael Keaton too.
He was all right in Batman, but he was all right in Jackie Brown as well. But other than that, he's a tosser.
Oh, really? Oh, no way, mate.
You like Michael Keaton, do you? I like him in Jackie Brown, but other than that, no.
Go watch him in a film called Night Shift with Henry Winkler.
I've seen he's in that in here as well.
It's a great movie. Great movie.
I'm gonna watch The Getaway, 1992 remake of the Steve McQueen, Ali McGraw one. I'm gonna watch that tonight.
No, it's a remake, mate.
Yeah, I know it's a remake of that, but I like Alec Baldwin. I think he's a good actor.
Yeah, he is. He's dead on.
So, all right then, JEZZA.
No worries, mate.
Thank you for coming on.
No sweat.
You've been a real tonic, and I like your t-shirt. Keep it up. And give my very best regards to your missus. All right, Jerry. Have a great evening.
No worries.
Well, peace out.
You too, mate.
Thank
Take
you.
it easy, mate.
Right. Thanks for liking and subscribing and leaving a comment. If you want to join our sister channel, it's Porky's International. Feel free to like and subscribe. Go on, booyaka. Great to have Jerry on. Women love him, men want to be him. Pop, pop, bang.